Hey, it's Joe Sib, host of the Bare Bones podcast. And if you want to listen to the full entire interview with All Time Low and Finesse Mitchell, go to iTunes now and you can download that podcast. Enjoy.
The guy I'm going to bring to the stage is a very good-looking man. He's been on SNL. He's about to go out on a comedy tour with Shaq. He's my good friend, and I love him so much. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the very, very friendly and funny Mr. Finesse Mitchell, ladies and gentlemen. I'm hugging you. I know. So much going on with you right now.
Yes.
You know, the first thing I got to talk about, because I just found out about this, you're going out on Shaq's comedy tour.
The Shaquille O'Neal All-Star Tour.
Wow.
We start in New York City, October 19th. We end in Atlanta, Georgia, New Year's Eve. We're going to hit 15 cities in between: Baltimore, D.C., Nashville, San Francisco. We're going
hitting
all
LA?
over. We're hitting L.A., brother. We're coming. It's a great opportunity. As you know, such stars as Kevin Hart, and you can only say Kevin Hart.
I mean, need to say anything.
Do you need to say
No.
anything else after that?
You know,
Kevin Hart made $16 million last year. $16 million telling jokes. I got to get my shit together.
I love your stories, and anyone that's seen Finesse Mitchell live, you touch a lot on, like you touched on it earlier, how you got your name, or growing up, or one story you told that was amazing that I loved, and after the show I literally followed him to the bar, and I think at one point he's like, why is this white kid following me everywhere? Why is the Fonzie looking dude following me around?
Right.
And I said, this story you told about how the whole SNL came about, the whole audition, how you found out about it. Would you mind sharing that story again? Because it was so inspiring, just so real.
Okay, this is the short version. Me and my lady got into an argument, and I was living in her apartment. And at the time of the argument, I won the argument. And I said, now, what you got to say about that? And she said, you can get the hell out. And I was like, oh yeah, I didn't think this through. Because now I had to leave her house. So I slept in my car one night. I just said, I'm gonna just stay in this bad neighborhood and sleep in my car and figure things out. Because I ain't have no place to go. And my pride wouldn't let me say, babe, please let me stay. I was the dude that was like, I'm leaving, I'll show you. And then 3 minutes later, I'm in my car. So anyway, I couldn't go to sleep because somebody tried to break in the car with me in the car. So that was a true story. And then I ended up driving up here to the Laugh Factory, and I heard Jay Moore talking to Dane Cook, and Jay Moore said that SNL was looking for the new black guy because Tracy Morgan was leaving the show. And I had thought to myself, had I never heard that information, I would have never auditioned because I would have never known about it. So it all took Jesus putting me in that relationship with that girl, her cursing me out, putting me out, me almost getting raped in my car, and me coming up here to the Laugh Factory and walking by that street and hearing Jay Moore say that. They said, they're looking for the new black guy. And that's the last part I heard. And I was like, I'm black. And they were like, well, Finesse, send in your tape. They looking. And so all the black comics, we know each other. So I called my friend D-Ray, and D-Ray called Kevin Hart, and Kevin Hart called Tony Rock, then Tony Rock called Chris Rock. Chris Rock called Tracy Morgan, and he had Tracy call us all back on three-way to tell us if it was true or not. And so that's how I found out, because I was like, Tracy, you leaving Saturday Night Live? He was like, Papa Bear's leaving the building. You can never be Baby Bear, but you can never be Papa Bear either. You just gotta be a bear. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Are you leaving the show or not? And he was like, you heard me, Febreze. And he hung up the phone. And that's pretty much it. After that, got the address, sent in the tape. Next thing I know, Finesse Mitchell, Saturday Night Live. Ooh, ooh.
I know you're a music fan too. You have a great story about seeing Prince. You and I have talked a lot about music. Mm-hmm. What do you, we got All Time Low coming up. What are you listening to right now? What's getting you going right now? What are you currently into?
I love All Time Low.
That's just done.
They sing my favorite songs.
You know what the best thing was is that the Shaq tour is going through Baltimore, and all the All Time Low guys were all hanging upstairs, and they start talking about where are you going to be performing right there. Finesse just throws out, I get you guys all into the show, and they're just like,
that's right.
Yeah. And I'm like, damn.
That's
just backstage hanging out, right?
Because it's cool when it's like an all black, Def Jam type Shaquille O'Neal show, and then you have these acid-looking punk rock white boys seeing you like, this is my crew. And they like, oh shit, hey, let them through. I think that's gonna be cool as fuck.
Speaking of music right now, are you ready for All Time Low to come out?
I'm ready for him.
Are you guys ready for All Time Low to come out and answer some questions?
Where do you want me to go?
You're going to go down there. Bring them up right now, ladies and gentlemen. Straight out of Baltimore. Here they are. All Time Low. Yes.
All Time
come
Low.
On. All Time time low. Here they come.
First things first, ladies, shouldn't I be in this group? Do you see a drop off in cuteness? Aren't we all just equally handsome, right? Until we get down to, well,
Yeah,
never
right
mind.
when you hit me, it's just like gross.
No, we get to Joe.
No, he's talking about me. That's what he's talking about. Yeah, the old Italian man on the end in the old chair. Can they make it look any worse? I want to go back to like when you got the band together. Did you ever anticipate it to last the 10 years? No, I don't
Yes.
think anyone ever. You did? Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Saw it all happening.
We knew we'd break up at 11.
No, not at all. I think it was one of those things where when we started this band, we were just idiot kids, like covering Blink-182 and stuff like that, in our parents' basements. So it was never ever something that we imagined would go, as far as it has now. I think the biggest part was just as soon as we realized that one girl would come to our show like twice, we were like, oh my God, we could do this.
We could play
be
for this
something.
one girl for 10 years.
Yeah, and it's fine. And she still comes to the shows, though. So as long as the second she misses a show,
We're screwed.
I'm done. I remember the first time I hung out with Jack, I went to his house, and he had, like, the two warning signs for me. I was like, maybe I'll start a band with this kid. This could happen. I go to his house, and the first two warning signs, I walk in, he's got a Fender Squier guitar covered in stickers that say, like, my butt plus your face equals so that's the first warning sign. And then the second thing was just sitting on his bed was an Aqua CD with and it was open and the CD was in
Barbie girl, man.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna just call my mom. Can I and that was like before cell phones were cool too, so I was like, can I borrow your landline?
Mom, come pick me up. This kid's gonna wear my skin.
But then I go downstairs to use the phone, there's pizza bagels in the oven, so I stayed.
Tell the fans about the 3-day, 3 countries in 3 days. How'd that concept
It's
come
gonna
up?
suck.
The worst
Yeah,
idea
I mean,
It's gonna suck.
And what are tell them the countries that you guys are hitting in 3 days.
Yeah, we're going to we start in Tokyo.
We start in New York. We fly, yeah.
We start on the East Coast. That's home for us. We fly to Tokyo from there. That's the first show. And then pretty much as soon as we get off stage, we run to the airport and fly to London, which is it's like a 17-hour flight or something. So
Yeah, it's a 14-hour flight into a 14-hour flight into a
7-hour flight.
7-hour flight from London to New York.
It's crazy. It all started because
Why? Who's planning that? We need to talk to the agent. Is this
Yeah.
something you wanted
we need to
do?
fire the
This
agent.
is
Is what we
something you
need to-
wanted to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's it started because with two records ago, we did one where we did 3 shows in 24 hours in the States. We did New York, Baltimore, Chicago, and
DC, Chicago, LA.
I don't know anything. Anyway, East Coast, center of the States, and West Coast. And so that kind of inspired us to try and do it around the world, because this band, what we've noticed is over the years we've become a band that spends a lot of time overseas, and we've established an incredible following in all these different countries.
Jay-Z did it, but he had a private jet, so it doesn't count.
You guys back on Hopeless after your time at Interscope. Now that right there says a lot about Hopeless, but also says a lot about you guys. Can you tell me a little bit about how that whole story came about?
Yeah, we signed to Hopeless right out of high school. We graduated high school in 2006, and
And Lewis was right there.
Yeah, he was waiting.
How great is Lewis?
He's amazing.
Can you
He's
describe to
amazing.
our audience why Lewis is so great?
Oh man,
This is the owner of Hopeless Records. Just an amazing guy.
he has an incredible ear for music, and he really I think what saved us was that he hears through how bad young bands can be. So he's like a Mr. Miyagi. He's like, I'm gonna take this skinny little shitty band and I'm gonna turn it into something incredible, and that's really what we benefited from, because I can't imagine listening back to our old demos. I cannot imagine sitting down at a desk, a 30-something-year-old man who runs a successful label and being like, yes, this band's gonna go somewhere. And he took a chance on us, and he's taken chances on a lot of bands, and he has a lot of hits. He has a lot of success with it. So the man's doing something right. And he above that, he also stays very true to what he does and to himself and his business values and all that. So he does it well.
I want to thank you guys so much for being here. Make some noise for All Time Low. The record comes out October 9th. Name of the record, Don't Panic. They're going to be coming back through. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this. Did you enjoy yourself? Would you come back again? We're going to continue doing it. I want to thank everyone here at the Laugh Factory, Darren Moore, the show's producer, Matt Baldwin, Evan, everyone here at the Laugh Factory. And anytime you guys want to come to any comedy shows, you can hit us up at thebareboneshow@gmail.com. I'm Joe Sib. This is All Time Low. Thank you guys so much for being here.